B103.9. Good morning. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock here on the show today. Joining us in the studio, Donnell Rawlings. Babs was just transitioning him and comparing him to R. Kelly for some reason. I don't understand this.
I'm rich! I won't say it. If anybody's familiar with that iconic catchphrase, you know how that ends. And I don't want to get anybody fired from their job, especially when you use me as a segue. R. Kelly's in news. Speaking of R. Kelly, Donnell will be here today, too.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
Let's see if Donnell, if this brings back some. Here we go. Give it to you right here. This will.
That's the intro, Dead Press. That's the intro, and it definitely brings back memories for me because when we were doing the show, I was a warm up comedian. So I was the one that would warm up the audience before Dave came out.
All right.
And that used to get us pumped up every time.
All right.
Yep.
Now,
hip hop. Okay, I'm not a good rapper, but I do remember that fire. That's what we call fire in these streets.
Now, Dave Chappelle said that you're one of the only guys that he trusts with his life. Is the feeling mutual?
But he said, and I'll tell you, that's a bad decision on my part. Yeah, the feeling is mutual. I don't think we had the point in our career, we had never been in a situation where we would have to save each other's lives or anything, but our friendship is one of which that if we felt either one of us was in danger of anything, we would step up and we would try to protect each other. He's one of my closest friends. We talk every other day.
Where'd you guys meet?
We met in New York City, but we had reputations from Washington, D.C. I started in D.C. I'm older than Dave, but Dave was older in comedy than I am. So when I started, Dave had 3 or 4 years ahead of me. And whenever you're from your hometown, the biggest deal for a comic in D.C. was to move from D.C. to New York. That was the next step.
All right.
And then you always said, well, who's hot? And I used to always ask the question, yo, who was popping? And when I started, everybody was like, Dave Chappelle. I was like, why? He was like, he's young, he's smart, he acts out all this stuff, whatever. And then I would always ask who was hot being in D.C. And then when he came from New York to D.C., he would always ask who's the hot person. And our reputation just kind of crossed, and we met in West Village in New York City going to the Comedy Cellar one night. And we've been friends ever since, and that was 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, because you played, how did you come up with the character Ashy Larry?
Well, I didn't come up with the character. What people don't understand, the character Ashy Larry, it's art imitating life. I've been ashy my entire life. Let me stand up.
Let me see. I got some lotion for you.
Babs came in today. She said
if you not put the lotion on me, I don't want it. So. You talk about me too. It'd be me too. We'd be all moist up in here. No, but the character when in the breakdown.
Yeah.
On the cast on the call sheet, it just had a guy that was just in boxers with dress shoes on. When I was younger, I used to shoot dice, and my mom would bust me. She would say, you been shooting dice? I'm like, no. She said, why are your knees and your elbows so? Because I'd be on the ground trying to get those numbers.
World Series of Dice.
Yeah, so my knees would be scratched up. I'd be ashy, and that's how she would catch me. So when I got the breakdown for Larry, he wasn't Ashy Larry. I was like, I wanted to be so ashy that I could write how much money people owe me on the side of my leg.
Yeah.
I brought that to Neil and Dave, and Ashy Larry was born. Yep.
Okay.
And that's how it goes down.
Yep, and I'm gonna be ashy for the rest of my life. That's people say, do you ever get upset about people calling you Ashy Larry? No, because I was ashy. It's not an act.
Right.
I'm a dark skinned brother. The only place I'm not ashy is in Florida. The humidity is so I hate saying this word. It's so moist. It's so moist here. It's hard for me to be ashy here, but I embrace it.
Now I feel your pain because look at me writing on my legs. I can write my name on my thighs right now. I'm ashy too.
We can do Mr. and Mrs. Ash.
She's 9 bottles deep already, Larry. Just so you know, all right.
She got skin so soft.
So ashy kids up in this bitch.
All right, so hold on. We got to take a break. So let's take a break. Caller 18, 19, 20.
We just started talking.
No, we got to go to traffic.
Okay.
All right, we'll come right back out of traffic. Caller 18, 19, 20. All getting tickets. So right now, caller 18, 19, 20. All could go see Donnell tonight out there at Off the Hook Comedy Club. 18, 19, 20. Call now. We'll talk more to him after the break.
Would you like some skin so soft?
Hold on.
No, I don't like the smell of that.
Yeah, but you won't get bit by one mosquito down
there.
there.
You know too much about the lotion. What's going on in here?
He was in jail, and he learned from the brothers.
And the sock. He had that sock and that lotion.
Curry lotion and pink lotion. I know all about it, man. Don't try me.
Say, brother, for the hood.
You try to say my hair don't look good when you know that it is, all right?
Good morning, Southwest Florida.
Feet lotion in my hair. That's why I'm bald now.
We know that feeling of baldness, but we embrace it.
Right now, we have an accident on Hancock and Cleveland Avenue. Also, one on mile marker 119 and I-75 going southbound. An accident on Metro in Idlewild. And lastly, an accident on I-75 going southbound at Daniels Parkway. This traffic report has been brought to you by Sunsplash. I'm Dabs, and this is B103.9.